RBK presents
Adventures of a Nepali Frog by Kanak Dixit. Illustrations by Subhas Rai. Chapter 5 Chitwan's Wild Sanctuary. One morning, after 2 days and 3 nights of hopping along the highway shoulder, Bhaktaprasad arrived at Bharatpur. He knew this because he saw an airplane swoop low overhead and land on a grass airstrip on one side of the road. As advised, he turned left, that is, south. In some hours, the frog came upon a sign that said, Chitwan National Park. There was a bamboo barricade manned by a man in olives, one of the soldiers who guarded the jungle and protected its rare beasts from poachers. The soldier looked down suspiciously at the frog. Bhaktaprasad summoned all his courage and hopped nonchalantly over the barricade in full view of the forest guard. He hoped to give the impression of being an unconcerned forest frog that was headed home after a tour outside the national park. The soldier stretched out his foot and blocked Bhaktaprasad's way. It was touch and go. "Hey, Sher Bahadur, come over here," cried the soldier. "Look at that one. He does not look like any amphibian mentioned in our manual of park species." "Well, you can never tell with frogs, Rambilas. There are so many species. But this guy was out. Coming in." "Well, rhinos and wild boar are always going out of the park in search of food. The same must be true of frogs. Let the chap go." Before the words were out of Sher Bahadur's lips, Bhaktaprasad was off. What if Rambilas disagreed and suggested putting him behind bars? There was no chance to be taken. The frog was already several meters into the forest before he stopped behind the trunk of a tree. He heaved a sigh of relief. Phew! Up above, the simul tree went up forever, halfway to the heavens. A croak, croak greeting came from under a nearby bush. It was an amphibian who called out, "Hello, hill cousin. I am Tarai Toad. I watched you there with those soldiers. You are quite an actor." Tarai Toad held out his hand and said, "Zoologists know me as Bufo melanostictus, or the black-spined toad." Bhaktaprasad returned the greeting. "Rana tigrina, a frog from Kathmandu." Tarai Toad was larger, more muscular and dark-skinned than Bhaktaprasad, and as his name suggested, he had black spots along his back. According to him, while the Chitwan wildlife had seen many human tourists come visit, this was the first time that a non-human tourist had arrived. "This is an occasion to celebrate," said Tarai Toad. The toad was quick to spread the word, and that afternoon in a clearing by the Rapti River, the Chitwan inhabitants gathered to meet the guest from Kathmandu. A herd of deer greeted him with gentle curiosity, nudging him with their wet snouts. This was less terrifying, certainly, than the big toothy yawn with which the mugger crocodile said, "Hiya." A couple of langur monkeys refused to come down from their perch high on a simul branch, but they chattered their greeting and playfully threw down the tree's seeds, which came wrapped in a cottony substance. A fussy male peacock landed in a flurry of colorful tail feathers. He was obviously a well-known show-off, as everybody pretended not to notice. The peacock started his insistent "Nya! Nya!" call, which nyagged everybody to no end. A strange creature, almost as large as a thatched roof hut, with thick folds of gray skin cascading down her sides, lumbered over and shook a large horn that grew straight out of her snout. One small eye of Madame One-Horn, the rhinoceros, winked at Bhaktaprasad. She introduced him to her calf, who was hiding behind her substantial backside. "Meet my son Ekraj. He is a shy one. Ekraj, can you tell Mr. Frog whether you are a one-horned rhino or a two-horned one?" "One-horned rhino," peeped a small voice from the other side. "And where do you find the two-horned rhino?" "In Africa," said Ekraj, getting bolder. The frog and baby rhino instantly became friends, and they played hide-and-seek among the tall reeds and the thick elephant grass. The hustle and bustle in the jungle clearing suddenly became subdued as a black-striped yellow form was seen moving in the undergrowth. Reluctantly, it seemed, the beast emerged into the clearing. "Oh, how nice of you to have come, Royal Bengal!" exclaimed Tarai Toad, delighted that the tiger had decided to drop in. The unquestioned queen of the Chitwan jungle, Royal Bengal did not often mingle with the lesser wildlife. However, even she seemed keen to meet the frog who had traveled all the way to Chitwan from Kathmandu. After the introductions were over, Royal Bengal surprised everyone by starting a conversation with the frog. "You are one lucky frog, free to go where you want," she said, a certain melancholy in her voice. Bhakta Prasad indicated that he did not understand. Everyone, even the shrill peacock, fell silent in order to hear the wise words of the elderly cat. Royal Bengal explained. Once, the jungle was spread like a huge thick carpet across the entire wide valley of Chitwan. The humans used to call it the Charkose Jhari. For them, a fearful stretch of dense woodlands full of demons and spirits, not to mention wild animals. Back then, we creatures of the forest were free. Today, the humans have come down from the hills and taken over our once expansive home. They have cut the forest tracts and established farms and fields, and we are locked into this reserve. But Royal Bengal, this Chitwan jungle is still so large, interjected Bhakta Prasad. It does seem like a huge place, and it is adequate for frogs and toads, but we larger creatures need to move about for food and forage. Each of us tigers and rhinos needs a substantial bit of territory if we are to survive, and what the humans have left us is just not enough. The wistful words of the Jungle Queen had everyone captivated. She ended by saying, "The long stretches of the Jhari are all gone now, Bhakte, and the other national parks and reserves are so far apart that we cannot visit them without going through human territory. You can come at will from Kathmandu, frog, but I could never go there if I wanted to. We are imprisoned here."